Hello, welcome back to another episode of On the Couch with Christine, and this week we're going to talk to the fabulous Adam Williams, who most of you will know as being a choreographer on So You Think You Can Dance. So welcome, Adam.
Thank you, Christine. It's good to be here.
It is. Now, I noticed that you've done heaps of work. You've been working as a choreographer and a performer in every genre of dance, really, in musical theatre, film, television, corporates, all that sort of stuff. So how do you approach all those different areas, and which one do you like working in the most?
I always seem to, my favourite thing seems to be what I'm working on at that point, at that day. I really love taking a brief that is maybe difficult or interesting and really nailing it for my client that I'm working for. I love seeing things come together more than just the choreography. I like to see the lights and the set and stuff. So, I mean, it depends which one I'm working on. I seem to be dedicated to that one as I go.
Right. So you'd say you're more than just not just a choreographer, but you like to sort of plan the whole event almost.
Yeah.
Give it a flavour.
Yeah. My regular clients refer to me as the creative director, which means I often come up with the concept for the entertainment and oversee it with lighting, staging that's being purpose built. All the audio sort of goes via me. So that's what I love. Big picture.
Wow. So what is the most challenging aspect of working for a corporate client?
The most challenging aspect for working for a corporate client is that it is our job to certainly deliver exactly what they are ultimately paying for. If you go to McDonald's and you order the chicken burger, then they deliver the double Big Mac. They give you the Big Mac. Then they give you the wrong thing and you want your money back, or you want a chicken burger. So with the client, you get one opportunity for performances one-off to give them exactly what they want. So
if, for instance, if they're doing a big ballroom extravaganza, you can't give them some funky sort of casual thing. You've got to give them exactly what they want.
Absolutely, and the perfect show should complement and add to an event. It shouldn't. I mean, it should steal the limelight, but it should complement perfectly the segue of the evening. Like, some clients actually do want a show to be so perfectly chic that it's humble and it's not the pop of the night. And some clients, they want the show to pop. So you've really just got to nail on the head exactly whoever's in charge, what is most necessary for them.
Oh, okay, cool. Now, where do you source, when it's a dance-based gig, where do you source your dancers and how do you source your dancers? And do you always go through an audition process, or do you prefer just to directly ask agents, say, can I have these people because you've worked with them before and you know they're going to give you what you want? Yeah,
a lot of my regular work, I have a stable of talent who I respect so much. Jackie Hansen, Kate Wormold, Sarah Jane Coombe, Jess Stokes, like these are really, Rachel Schmaltz, these are girls that have really paid their dues and have learnt so much, and their CVs are extraordinary, and what they can bring to a show is a knowledge of how to make things the absolute best. Some work that is, that's when it's a cast of 4 or 5, it's a one-off gig or a gig that's like 4 times only. Some gigs for big corporates, especially when they're aligned with a brand or something, they want to do a casting for it because they're after, you know, I did a gig last year, it went for 3 months, and they wanted, the product was called Budja, and they wanted artists that represented the brand, which was exotic, so therefore dark hair, dark skin, so we got a lot of young kids in, and in that instance we did a casting because it was most important for my client to have a very particular look.
Right.
So.
Right. Now, as a choreographer, how do you approach, if you're doing, say, I notice you've done a lot of things in the fashion sort of genre. So if you're working with people who are not really trained as dancers, they're predominantly models, and they look fabulous, but they're not so good at moving, how does your approach change to putting that job together?
Well, it's sort of like, I like to have talent on my side, which means I like to have a rehearsal that's really fun. And in that particular instance, when, like, if it's a model, a drop-dead gorgeous, very serious model, then I need, in order to pull character or personality from her, or for her to give me that extra bit, she needs to be on my side for the event. So I try to have a really fun rehearsal. And
you seem like you're very friendly and fun.
Oh, it's not true. Oh, I thought I was nasty.
No, ruined his image today. Now he looks all friendly.
No, do you know what? Like, yeah, no, it's fun. I love seeing people go further than they think they can, and that's an instance with the model, you know. And if they are on your side, then they're
So you perhaps work more with their character, their abilities to create the character and stuff,
Yes.
as opposed to the dance steps.
Yeah, I had an instance like about a month ago. This was a massive private event, extraordinarily high budget, purpose-built sets that moved, you know, mirrored catwalks, a fashion rocks event in the ballroom of someone's house. It was amazing. And we had a very slippery floor, which wasn't slippery at the rehearsal, the dress rehearsal, the this, the that, or the this, the rehearsal of the shoes, it wasn't, and it was on the event. And I had the top dancers in Australia, Jackie Hansen, Rachel, Sarah Jane, Hopolati, all those girls doing this gig, and they soldiered on for me. Do you know what I mean? They didn't stop because they're on my side.
And they're so professional too.
Yeah.
I know some of those girls and they are, like it didn't matter if they fall over, they just keep going.
They are insane.
Yeah.
They're stunning. Yeah. And then the models as well, from the top modelling agency in the country, and after having such a fun rehearsal period and being invested in what I was invested in and I was genuinely excited about creative, then they didn't stop. They soldiered on through, and like any professional should, but there's also occupational health and safety.
Yeah.
But they soldiered on because they're on your side.
But like you say, that comes with working with older dancers who are experienced and they have the confidence and the knowledge to pull something like that off, whereas a younger dancer perhaps would freak out and think, oh, you know.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean that a younger dancer won't ever get to that point. It just means that younger dancer should just do everything, and that's why, pardon me, doing so many different genres is really important when you're beginning to work. Even do everyone's classes, and even when you start getting a few gigs and you start actually working enough, this is your full-time occupation, keep broadening your horizon, because work and choreographers often pinpoint exactly what they want for that occasion. And if you're not perfect for that occasion, they're going to have to give it to the person that is perfect.
Right.
So just try and aim to be as best as possible at every occasion, at every aspect.
Yeah, I think a lot of dancers who work a lot in Australia and choreographers who work a lot, they are, like yourself, very versatile. So, you can do a musical theatre show, but then you can turn around and go and do a funky sort of commercial gig, and then you can do a video shoot, then you can do a... So I think that's exactly right.
The same night, on So You Think You Can Dance this season, the Four Boys did a Broadway of mine. It was a real Broadway, and that's what I do on that show, and I love Broadway. But we had to leave that taping in time to make it to the taping of the MTV Awards, where I choreographed Vanilla Ice and Pete the Fallout Boys in a wrap-up of Beyonce's Single Ladies and all that stuff. You have to be versatile, and versatile sort of doesn't mean okay at everything. It means really good at most things because you put in that effort.
Right. Now, going to So You Think You Can Dance, there must be lots of fantastic things about working on a show like that, but there must be incredible challenges as well that people don't see, the audience don't see. So what would you say for you are the huge benefits of choreographing for the show, and also the huge challenges that perhaps you didn't expect going into it?
Yeah, the great benefits of the show, they really outweigh anything that's negative about the show. That show, and we've all heard it a million times, it really has just skyrocketed at the profile of our industry and how hard a real dedicated dancer works. It shows that. It shows the blood and sweat. And the show actually doesn't show how much those guys are dancing and not sleeping.
Yeah.
So to be part of that, I'm just so grateful. I also have such a respect for that talent because, and I actually choreographed them after the show as well for a lot of their corporates. And I have a spiel I do last year, I did this year as well, that I respect what you've done by putting yourself out there, out there for, it's like what the choreographers do, you're putting yourself out there for the judges to judge, for Australia to judge, for the other contestants to judge, for you to judge, for your mum to judge, and for John Shalakasaka, who lives in Illawarra, do you know what I mean? Everyone to have a go at what they don't like about it. You can't please all the people all the time. So I have ultimate respect for the talent that do that. I thank the network for bringing it to the forefront, and what other shows are going to follow it.
Well, thank you very much for talking to us today.
Thanks for coming, Christine.
It's just been fabulous, and it's very comfy here on this couch. So you never know, in another couple of months we might come back and talk to Adam again and see if he can give us more information on what he's up to.
Thanks for coming.